Rest in peace, David Lynch. You will be missed. What up, viewers? What up? What up? Calc Soups here, and today is Friday, January 17th, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. Big thing that happened this week was the Switch 2 was finally officially announced. I know that we talked last week about all the leaks coming out of CES, but now this week at 5 a.m. they dropped a 2-minute trailer for the Switch 2. It showed off official views of like how much bigger it will be compared to the Switch 1. We got to see the magnetic Joy-Cons kind of in action, I guess. We got to see the rounded dock and the stand. It also talked about when we'll get more information. Like, it seems like they must have moved up. I feel like they moved up their announced time frame to like just combat the leaks, but you know, maybe this was always in the plans. But although everything kind of seems to be leading up to April, it kind of announced that like April is coming. That's when people start getting their first hands on, and that they'll be doing that over the course of the next couple of months after that. And I think a lot of people are already starting to speculate on like a June time frame. Which is interesting. So yeah, the things that they didn't announce as well is like price point. I still think that they kind of should be in that like $300, starting price point range, but I could definitely see maybe a $400 version that's a little bit nicer, or even as long as the battery life and the as long as the battery life and the memory space is enough there, then I could definitely see justifying kind of a $400 version as well. So or $400 base price. But as soon as they start climbing up into like traditional console, regular PlayStation and Xbox price points in the $500 range, I think that you're gonna lose a lot of people who bought in at the lower price point. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the Switch 2. And I think they're also worried about, there's a lot of competition on the market now with handheld PC gaming. I know that that's probably a big contender. I'm hoping that the Switch dock has kind of some firepower in it, so that while I'm playing docked, which is 98% of how I use my Switch, that there, maybe it is streaming at, 2K, 4K or something like that, rather than like a 720p 30 frames. So but with the rounded dock, it kind of looks like it's a general piece of plastic, like the old Switch dock was. So but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what more comes out for the Switch 2. And I know that's going to be they also announced a lot of backwards compatibility for the most part. So sounds like a lot of your stuff will still be playable even if you switch over to Switch 2. So I'm looking forward to that. Speaking of 2, The Last of Us Season 2 has been narrowed down its release window. It is currently set for April. There's also like a 2-minute trailer for that. And people are already starting to speculate on when the first episode will drop, with, I believe, April 6th being the end of White Lotus Season 3. The speculation is that the week after that, on Sunday, April 13th, that's when we'll get Last of Us Season 2. So, that's just speculation for now, but I think that is a good idea. And me and my friend were already starting to talk about HBO's lineup and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's definitely what I could see them taking a week to and jumping straight back into like Last of Us Season 2. So, looking forward to watching that. And yeah, hopefully it isn't too much kind of filler. I know that they've kind of stretched Part 2, The Last of Us Part 2, into 2 seasons, and that hasn't gone well for studios that have done that. So hopefully they can keep it interesting during an 8-episode arc. Please, dear God, don't do a 6er. That's all I gotta say. Anyway, I digress. Moving right along. Saw a pretty cool game get announced this week, or at least the first trailer for the game, called Dawn Walker. It's a vampire game where looks like you are one of several different almost Camilla-esque, eternal struggle, White Wolf type of vampires. You know, that whole Vampire the Masquerade type. But you're in a fantasy setting, and it looks like the combat, it's like a third person combat system, because we get to see a little bit of gameplay in it. But yeah, the game looked cool. I've already added it to my wish list, and um, yeah, I think, I hope it doesn't come out around the same time as Bloodlines 2, which I'm also very excited for this year. So yeah, looking forward to whatever this game happens to be, and it looks like it's done by the creative director behind The Witcher 3, which is a great game. Definitely has that kind of Witcher feel in the trailer. So yeah, I'm looking forward to checking this game out sometime soon. Larian has talked about they're fully focused on the next game. I know that after putting out the modding tools, that they've kind of said that they're going to move away from that, and now their next game, which is codenamed Excalibur, um, is what they've got their full attention on. I think that I know that development studios don't usually pick their code names based on like the IP or something they're working on. I do think a like Arthurian RPG would be pretty cool. But yeah, I'm excited to see what they're working on. I know it's going to be a couple more years till we probably get anything of substance, but yeah, excited to see whatever Larian's doing next. The Quest 3 headset has been discounted now that we're out of CES. Has been discounted down from $400 to $350. It launched back in October, so 3 months later we get a $50 discount for people to spend their Christmas gift cards on. Probably not going to be the headset of choice for me. I'm still probably waiting for. I don't know if the PlayStation headset. That's probably going to be the first one I get, but I don't know. I'm curious what the lowest price point has been so far, and what it's finally going to take for me to buy into VR. I'm a massive fan of VR, and like I like keeping track of it and all that, but I still haven't bought in, so shame on me, I guess. You remember back in the pandemic when Razer started selling, RGB masks that they said were N95 rated? Well, they quickly got hit up and said that it isn't N95 rated, and settlement based on a settlement or a class action lawsuit based on that is finally coming home to roost, and money is starting to go out based on that settlement. So saw that this week, and I still kind of want a RGB kind of face mask to walk around with, but I will note that it is not N95 rated. An army made for Total War Warhammer 3, or exclusively for Total War Warhammer 3, might actually be coming to tabletop. The Grand Cathay is like a kind of a ancient Chinese inspired army that you could exclusively play in Warhammer Total War Warhammer 3, and they might be coming to tabletop. Games Workshop kind of announced some armies that are coming up, some armies that are getting updates. They kind of left a box blank, but there's a little bit of an image in there, and people think that maybe it's Grand Cathay. So if you really like the army in Total War Warhammer 3, you might be able to play it on the tabletop sometime soon. In my never-ending quest to find more and more good city builders, I saw one that kind of gave me an interesting twist, and it was one called Airborne Empire, another game that I've added to my wish list this week. You are kind of floating on a zeppelin and running around, and your town is being built, up in the air. And so I think that's an interesting twist. And like, is it all Air Force? Is there any, ground force at all? And it also means that I have to make Columbia as fast as from BioShock Infinite as fast as possible. So I got to make all my citizens have super weird electric powers and shoot lightning bolts from their fingers and stuff. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I think it's a cool, unique twist on a city builder. We've built cities on the backs of monsters. We've built them by rolling dice. So why not build one in the air? So looking forward to Airborne Empire. Last but not least, I think I talked about the Until Dawn trailer last week, or some information about Until Dawn last week. But the movie got its first trailer this week. And I was very excited to see in the first 5 seconds that Peter Stormare is back. And it seems like they're kind of turning it into a Deathloop kind of storyline. It sounds like the night resets after everyone's dead, and then they have to go back and they have to they have memories of dying, and the monster changes, which is very Until Dawn like. The Deathloop part feels a little bit weird, but it's kind of a way to harken to the game where you can replay your own stuff, so it makes some sense. But I thought it was just going to be a general slasher with a killer in the a killer amongst us kind of story like Until Dawn is, but yeah, they've gone kind of a Deathloop. They've gone kind of with a Deathloop theme, so I'm very curious, kind of how that plays out. So looking forward to the Until Dawn movie. I don't know if there was a date associated with it, but I'll definitely be keeping that on my radar. But that's it for this week. Let me know down below or on my Discord if you feel I forgot anything. Always happy to talk video games in my comments or in the email or on my Discord. So hit me up there. But thanks for watching. I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super weekend. And I hope you have a super day. Bye.